Hello and welcome into the latest series here on the channel, Building the Bombers with the Ithaca College Bombers. Right now we're going to start legacy mode with custom conferences, so we can put Ithaca in a conference. We're going to put them in the, instead of putting them in the Ivy Leagues or the MAC, we are going to look to put them really quickly in the independent, as an independent, and so once we're there, we can, after the first season, move into a conference. So we're going to look at the worst team in the independents is NJIT, so we're going to put the Bombers of Ithaca College into the independent, to be an independent in our first season. And so now we're going to select Ithaca as the team we're going to play with on this mode. Jim Mullins is our head coach. Sorry for making you a little bit old there, Coach. Trying to make it pretty accurate. And right now we're going to make the attributes not great. We have enough points to make it great, but, we want something to work on in the second season and moving forward. And so we're going to pick two random assistant coach. It's fine. And we're going to edit our schedule now. Right now, looking at our schedule, we open up with Manhattan before we play Vermont and American and Lehigh. And so we're going to go down and try to play our rivals, Cornell, but we can't because scheduling conflicts. So we're going to take away the Rutgers game and see if we can play Cornell then. No, unfortunately we can't, but we added Brown to the schedule. We're going to swap teams. Brown is coming off. And we're going to add Boston College in Brown's place. And we're going to go to Boston College there on December 13th. And we're going to try to insert a new game in between on December 5th. That's not going to work. So we're going to try to take the Army game out and add Duke. But no, we'll make that away. We'll swap Duke out because it's not really realistic. We'd get smoked by Duke in the first season. They wouldn't play us. So we're going to try once again to get Cornell, our big rivals, on the Division I level, since they are also here in Ithaca, New York. And we're going to reset the schedule completely. We are going to add Boston College ahead of the Rutgers game. And we are going to try to swap a team. We're going to try to swap American for Cornell. That's not going to work, unfortunately. And so, whatever, we'll just play Cornell in our second season. And now we're going to look at the ABL very quickly, but we're going to simulate it, as the ABL is 19 days long. It's a high school tournament that they have here on this game for recruits. So we have some interest from some big players, but we're going to advance the college season and go to the schedule, or first the look at Legacy Home. You can see some of the players on our roster. That's what we'll look at first. Our head coaches, Jim Mullins, Harper, and Tucker, are our assistants. Roster: Gaskins, Rogers, Cruz Rivas, Luger, Brown, Friedland, Kale, Sean Burton, who's actually the new head coach of Ithaca, for those of you that don't know in real life, Leahy, after the retirement of Coach Mullins, Ruffridge, Berea, Ruffridge, Bostic, Maritia, and Scanlon rounding up the roster for Ithaca. Nobody is hurt right now. We can do some pep talks, which is kind of cool mode. We have 10 to give this season, so we're not going to give one right now. And so right now we're going to jump into the Shrine, which is kind of a cool thing, and I need those of you watching to comment down below. I have 640 points, so you could get things like special balls that you could play with, an eyeball. Let me know which one out of these you want me to buy, and I'll buy it, an eyeball or a baseball, or a beach ball, or golf ball. Golf ball would be kind of fun. VC ball, a moon ball, tennis ball would be fun. The eyeball again, an 8-ball, golf ball again, and of course my favorite, the ABA ball. So let me know what you want. Also, there's stadiums, the Alamo Dome, the RCA Dome, HP Pavilion. So let me know which one of these as well you want me to buy. I'll buy it, maybe depending on the consensus in the comments and on social media. I'll probably buy one stadium, maybe like the Staples Center, and one ball that we can play it with. I think it'd be fun to toss around an eyeball or to toss around a baseball or something like that. That'd be a really good time. In my opinion, it'd be funny. I would make the mode certainly entertaining. Reliant Stadium, Charlotte Bobcats Arena, where the Bobcats obviously play in Charlotte, North Carolina. The AAC in Dallas, New Orleans' arena before they moved into the Smoothie King Center, and the Summit Center, which is where the NBC tournament happens. And so we're going to look at the map for recruiting. The highest interest we have is a 1-star prospect, Calvin Cummings. 35% interest from Boomer Barlow. But we're going to look at this recruit who's pretty highly rated, and we have 234 points this week, so we're going to use that a little bit on a call since he's 2-star, and that's the only thing we're going to do today in terms of recruiting. And you can see the schedule. We start with Manhattan, at Washington versus Vermont, versus American, at Lehigh, at Rider, etc., all the way down to finishing with Utah Valley State. And so we're going to simulate through that date for the Bombs Up is the Midnight Madness for Ithaca. We're going to play this. We're going to coach this game, actually. Starting lineups for Ithaca and Ithaca. This is the blue and gold teams. Fortunately, we can't do just let the system control itself. So we're going to control the Gaskins, Ruger, Freeland, Berea, and Kale team, since that will probably be our starting lineup here. But at the Midnight Madness, Bombs Up at Ben Light Gymnasium. This is your first look here on the channel at the Ben Light Gymnasium that I have put together. It doesn't look, picture perfect to the real life Ben Light, but it's the best that I could do on the game. Starting for the Ithaca team, we're controlling again is Gaskins, Ruger, Freeland, Berea, and Kale versus Rogers and Cruz Rivas and some other players. And so we're not going to play the whole game here. We're just going to play a few possessions just to see, so you could see what the team looks like a little bit. Brown is going to hit that layup as the white team heads up the floor. You can see our floor is yellow and blue, and our mascot is the Dayton Flyers mascot, which I think is appropriate because he looks like a bomber pilot, i.e. the College Bombers. Ruger to Berea to Gaskins. Gaskins for 3. That'll be off the mark and out of bounds, in fact, as the team in the black and the gold trim takes it up the floor. Rogers, we're looking around the floor here, as white calls a 3-2 zone, and that'll be off the mark, rebounded by Kale. And we're going to make the pressure tight here on all layers, not let them get anything, not let them get any movement moving forward here down to nothing early on. Gaskins stolen away by Cruz Rivas. Now Leahy will lay it up. Nice layup there by Leahy. Friedland over to Gaskins. Over to Ruger. Berea. Ruger. Friedland. Gaskins. Friedland. And that'll be good. 4-2 game here. As the ref runs right through us. And now it'll be Ruger. Berea. Gaskins. Friedland, and that'll be off the mark, read by Bostic, and so that'll do it. I think we've seen enough here. Box score here, only points are Friedland for the team that I was controlling, and Brown and Leahy have 2 points for the other team. And so that will do it for the Midnight Madness Bombs Up. And so now we're going to move ahead to the end of the next week, or the end of this week. We're going to go to the season preview show, which on the game is with Greg Gumbel, excuse me. And so we're going to look really quickly at the top 25, so that the top 5 is UNC, Kansas, Memphis, Michigan State, and Louisville. So Roy Williams has a good team this year that they expect to be the number 1 team in the country, followed by Bill Self's Kansas Jayhawks, the John Calipari's and Memphis Tigers with Derrick Rose on their roster this season. As you can see, Roy Williams last year they went 31-7 and lost in the Elite Eight. Looking to make it further in the tournament this season. We'll see if that happens. Roy Williams with 524 wins, 131 losses. Now it's Bill Self. They also made it to the Elite Eight before losing last season, going 33-5, 14-2 in conference play. Bill Self's Kansas Jayhawks out of the Big 12. Very good season last season, but just fell short of making it to the Final Four. And now John Calipari's team also made it to the Elite Eight. They went 33-4, 16-0 in conference play. Very, very good team there for Coach Cal. He has 370 wins. And now number 4 is the Big Ten Michigan State Spartans, who struggled last year, going 8-8 in conference play and losing in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Izzo with 278 career wins, 121 career losses. As the number 5 team in the country, the Louisville Cardinals, coached by Rick Pitino, who lost in the second round last year after going 24-10. Going 24-10 last season. As rounding out the top 15 is Georgetown, UCLA, Tennessee, Marquette, Duke, Wisco, Kentucky, Arizona, Pittsburgh, and Oregon. Some good teams in that pack. I think we should look out on this series for the Hoyas. As the number 13 team in the country, the Arizona Wildcats. They lost in the first round last year, but they have 2 returning starters. Number 10, Coach K's team there at Duke. And number 16 comes in at the Ithaca College Bombers, come in as the number 16 team in the country, just outside the top 15, ahead of significant teams like Texas. Jim Mullins, 4 returning starters this year for the Ithaca College Bombers. Decently experienced team, one of the most experienced teams in the country. But I don't expect, personally, if I'm being honest, Ithaca to last in the top 25 for very long. But we will see. And the number 21 team in the country is the Big Ten, Illinois Fighting Illini, who lost in the first round last year, going 23-12. And so that'll do it for this season preview. That was a good look at the top 25. And so now we're going to simulate through this, which is cutting players, but we don't really want to cut anybody. We don't need to make red shirts or cut, so we're going to just move on here really quickly and simulate to the Manhattan Jaspers game kicking off the season. While it's simulating, the CPU here is recruiting as we move closer and closer to the opening night game against the Manhattan Jaspers. Now we are 1 day ahead, and let's look here very quickly at Legacy home. 0-3 in the conference ahead is one of the teams ahead of us. And so let's look very quickly at coach's office, at the roster again. And so we're going to simulate through this game before we play it, but we're not going to play it in this episode. And so that'll do it. Thank you for joining me here on Building the Bombers. This has been Max O'Neill. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.